I flung open the door of the hotel room and saw my naked, cheating wife in the arms of my boss. My world collapsed in an instant. The woman I had loved, trusted, and built a life with, wrapped around another man like some cheap prize. And not just any man. Nathan Harper. My boss. The man who shook my hand every morning, who smiled in my face while screwing my wife behind my back. Carrie shrieked, "Mick, it's not what you think." Not what I think. She was sprawled across him, sweat glistening on her skin, sheets tangled around their legs. The air in the room was thick with betrayal, and the scent of their filth made my stomach churn. For a moment, the world slowed. A suffocating silence swallowed the room. Then, rage. I didn't say a word. I walked straight up to Nathan and slammed my fist into his jaw. The sickening crack of bone echoed through the room. He groaned, falling back against the bed like the coward he was. Another punch. This one for every lie Carrie ever told me. Another. For every late-night girls' trip that was really a rendezvous in some seedy hotel. Another. For the man who smiled in my face while betraying me behind my back. Nathan grunted in pain, shielding his face, but I wasn't done. I grabbed the collar of his crumpled dress shirt, yanking him to his feet before landing a final, brutal punch. He slumped against the nightstand, blood trickling from his nose. Only then did I turn to Carrie. She had pulled the sheet up to her chest, eyes wide with fake innocence. She was a damn good liar, I'd give her that. I leaned in, my voice barely a whisper, but sharp as a knife. "Pack your things, Carrie. You've just destroyed your life." Tears welled in her eyes, but I knew better. They weren't real. She wasn't sorry. She was just sorry she got caught. But this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Because this was only the first step of my revenge. I didn't stay to watch her fake tears. I turned on my heel and walked out, fists clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. My heart was hammering, my breath coming fast. The world outside felt wrong, too bright, too normal. How could people just be walking around, living their lives, while mine had just been ripped apart? I stalked to my car, throwing the door open and sliding inside. My hands were shaking. My vision blurred with a mix of rage and something else, something I refused to call pain. Carrie didn't deserve my pain. She didn't deserve anything. I slammed my fist into the steering wheel. Once. Twice. My knuckles throbbed, but I barely felt it. The image of her in that bed with Nathan burned into my mind like a brand. Her skin on his. His hands gripping her hips. The way she shrieked my name, as if she actually had the nerve to think I'd believe whatever lie she was about to spew. Not what I think. I'd seen enough. I took a long breath, shoving my emotions down, deep where they couldn't touch me. I needed to think. I needed a plan. And most of all, I needed to make sure Carrie regretted every single second of her betrayal. I pulled my phone from my pocket, hands steady now. There was only one person I needed to call. "Logan," I said when my best friend picked up. My voice was low, controlled. Too controlled. There was a pause. "What happened?" "Meet me at O'Malley's." It was our bar. The place we went to celebrate, to talk, to plan. Logan didn't ask questions. He just said, "Be there in 10. I threw the car into drive, my mind already working through the next steps. The pain was still there, buried under layers of rage, but I didn't let it take over. Not yet. I walked into O'Malley's and spotted Logan at our usual booth. He took one look at me and knew. F******, he muttered. "It's Carrie, isn't it?" I sat down, my movements too slow, too deliberate. I was holding on to control with both hands. "She's been screwing Nathan. The words felt foreign in my mouth, like they belonged to someone else. Someone whose life had just been set on fire. Logan stiffened. "Your boss?" I nodded. For a long second, he just stared at me. Then, with a sharp exhale, he reached for his beer and took a long pull. "I hope you broke the bastard's nose." "Probably." I rolled my shoulders. "Didn't stay to check." His lips curled in something that wasn't quite a smile. "Good." A waitress came by, but I barely heard what she said. I ordered a whiskey. Something strong. Something that would burn. Logan watched me closely. "So what's the plan?" That was the question, wasn't it? I took a sip of my drink, the warmth of it spreading through my chest, and let a slow smile stretch across my face. "Oh," I murmured, "she's about to learn what real betrayal feels like." Because Carrie had taken something from me. My trust. My love. My damn dignity. And I was going to take something from her in return. 2 hours later, I was parked outside our house, no, my house. Carrie's car was in the driveway, lights on inside. She was waiting. Probably rehearsing some bull ***** speech about how it was a mistake, how it didn't mean anything, how she still loved me. I let her wait. Then, when I was good and ready, I stepped inside. She was sitting on the couch, eyes puffy from fake crying. When she saw me, she stood quickly, wringing her hands like the pathetic liar she was. "Mick, please, just listen to me." I held up a hand. She fell silent. I walked past her, straight to the liquor cabinet, and poured myself another drink. I took my time, feeling her eyes on me, the nervous energy radiating from her. Finally, I turned. "Go ahead," I said, leaning against the counter. "Tell me how it's not what I think." She swallowed hard. I messed up. It was a mistake, Mick. A huge mistake. It didn't mean anything, I swear. I laughed. Actually laughed. Didn't mean anything? So what, you just tripped and landed on his. Mick, stop. Her voice broke. It's not like that. I love you. I was just. I don't know. Lonely. You've been so busy with work, and Nathan, he was just there. It was never about him. It was about us. I let her words hang in the air. Then, I set my glass down, took a slow step forward, and looked her right in the eyes. You don't love me. My voice was calm. Deadly. You love attention. You love the thrill of sneaking around. You love knowing you can lie to my face and get away with it. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I didn't give a damn. Mick, please. You disgust me. I grabbed my jacket, turned for the door. I'll send my lawyer your way in the morning. She gasped. What? You're not serious. I paused, looking back at her one last time. Oh, I'm dead serious, Carrie. And then, I walked out. But this wasn't over yet. She thought she could betray me and walk away unscathed. She had no idea what was coming next. I didn't go home. Not to that house. Not to the place where she had slept in my bed while lying through her teeth. Instead, I drove. Nowhere in particular, just miles of open road and the sound of my own ragged breathing. My hands were tight on the wheel, my knuckles still raw from Nathan's face. I should have felt satisfied. I had knocked him down, left him bleeding. But it wasn't enough. Not even close. The betrayal kept replaying in my head, over and over like a movie stuck on repeat. Carrie's breathless gasp, the way she scrambled for the sheets, Nathan's dumb, stunned face as he realized he was about to get his ass handed to him. Her pathetic excuses. Mick, it's not what you think. As if I were some idiot who couldn't put two and two together. As if I hadn't already seen the signs. The late nights. The guarded phone. The sudden interest in wearing lingerie to bed but never touching me. I knew. I just didn't want to believe it. My phone buzzed in the passenger seat. I glanced down. Carrie. Calling, again and again. I let it ring. Then, on the third call, I picked up. Silence for a second. Then, her voice, small, trembling. Fake. Mick, please come home. We need to talk. I exhaled slowly. No, Carrie. You need to listen. Mick, Shut up. The words came out cold. Sharp. You don't get to talk right now. You had your fun, right? Thought I'd never find out? Thought you could play your little games and keep me in the dark? Mick, please, You're pathetic. I cut her off again. And you're gonna get exactly what you deserve. Her breath hitched. What does that mean? I smiled. A dark, humorless thing. Let her wonder. Then I hung up. I pulled into Logan's driveway 5 minutes later. The front door swung open before I even knocked. Whiskey? Logan asked, already pouring. I took the glass, downed it in one go. It burned, but not as much as the rage in my chest. I need to ruin her, I said, voice flat. Logan leaned back, arms crossed. He didn't look surprised. I'm listening. I paced the living room, thoughts racing. Carrie thought she could betray me and just cry her way out of it. No. She needed to feel this. She needed to understand exactly what she had done. She doesn't get to walk away from this clean, I muttered. She gets everything through me. The car? In my name. The house? Mine. Her credit card? I pay the bills. I turned to Logan. I'm cutting her off. Every single thing I've ever given her, gone. Logan grinned. That's cold. She deserves cold. I grabbed my phone, pulling up our shared bank account. With a few taps, I transferred everything out of it. Every last cent. Then I took it a step further. I pulled up the mortgage, the car payments, the utilities, every bill tied to me. And I shut them all down. She wanted to play games? Fine. Let's see how she liked losing. My phone rang again. Carrie. I smirked, letting it ring. She was finding out. Then, a text popped up. Carrie, what the hell, Mick? I laughed. She was panicking. Good. Another text. Carrie, you canceled my card? I can't even get gas. Me, not my problem. Maybe Nathan can pay for you now. I saw the little dots appear. Then disappear. Then reappear. She was typing, deleting, typing again. Then another call. This time, I answered. You're such a child, she shrieked the moment the line connected. I chuckled. And you're a lying, cheating WH******. Guess we both learned something today. You can't just cut me off, she screamed. I need money. You needed to keep your legs closed. Silence. Then, in a whisper, you're punishing me. Damn right I am. She inhaled sharply. I could hear the tremble in her breath. She wasn't sorry for cheating. She was sorry for getting caught. You're a bastard, she spat. And you're alone. Then I hung up. Logan whistled low. Remind me never to piss you off. I exhaled, feeling lighter than I had all night. I'm not done yet. Logan leaned forward, curiosity in his eyes. What's next? I smirked. She's about to find out what real humiliation feels like. Because Carrie hadn't just betrayed me. She had mocked me. Lied to me. Disrespected me. And now? Now, it was my turn. The next morning, I woke up early. Not because I couldn't sleep, I slept just fine knowing Carrie was probably tossing and turning, panicking over her new reality. No, I woke up early because I had a job to finish. I grabbed my phone, scrolled through my contacts, and made the first call of the day. "Hey, this is Mick Lawson," I said smoothly when the receptionist answered. "I need to cancel the joint insurance policy under my wife's name." "Certainly, Mr. Lawson. Any reason for the cancellation?" I smiled. "She's no longer my problem." One down. I moved on to the next call. "Credit cards? Cancelled. The car? Repossessed." I made sure of that. Carrie didn't have a dime to her name, because every dime she had came from me. Then I went a step further. Nathan Harper. My boss. The same bastard I had left bleeding on the floor last night. The man who thought he could have everything, my wife, my respect, my silence. He had another thing coming. I called HR at work, keeping my voice calm and professional. "Hey, it's Mick. Just a heads up, you might want to check into Nathan Harper's business expenses. Pretty sure you'll find some discrepancies." The woman on the other end hesitated. "Discrepancies?" I leaned back, smirking. "Let's just say he's been very generous with the company card, hotels, fancy dinners, entertainment. Oh, and if you look a little closer, you might notice the reservations under different names. One of them being my soon-to-be ex-wife's." Silence. "Then, I'll escalate this immediately." Nathan was about to have a very bad day. By noon, I was sitting at O'Malley's again, nursing a beer and waiting for Logan to show up. My phone buzzed. "Carrie." I let it ring. Then came the texts. "Carrie, where is my CR? Carrie, why is my card declined? Carrie, Mick, I swear to God, answer me." I chuckled, taking another sip. Let her scream. Let her throw her little tantrum. She wanted independence so bad. Here it was. Then, another call. Not Carrie this time. Nathan. I picked up, grinning. "Nathan. How's the face?" "You son of a b**********, he hissed. His voice was strained, like he was speaking through clenched teeth. I swirled my drink lazily. "Something wrong?" "You got me fired," he snapped. "Corporate just escorted me out of the building." I feigned shock. "Oh no. That's terrible. What happened?" "UF********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* expense reports, questioned me about Carrie, and now my wife is threatening to leave me. I laughed outright at that. Sounds like a personal problem, buddy. You think this is funny? I leaned forward, my tone dropping. Oh, I don't think it's funny. I think it's justice. Nathan cursed, but I could hear it in his voice. He was scared. His perfect life? Crumbling. Just like he thought he could do to mine. Stay the hell away from me, he snapped. Don't worry, I said. I have no interest in talking to you again. But Carrie? I smirked. She's all yours now. Have fun dealing with that mess. I hung up before he could respond. Logan slid into the booth across from me just as I set the phone down. That was fast, he commented, nodding toward my empty glass. I grinned. Oh, we're just getting started. Logan laughed, shaking his head. Man, remind me never to cheat on you. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Calls from Carrie went unanswered. She tried showing up at Logan's, banging on the door, screaming my name. We ignored her. Then, that night, the final cherry on top. I logged onto Facebook. Clicked Create Post. And I let the whole damn world know. To everyone who knows Carrie Lawson, she is now single. Why? Because she spent months sneaking around with my boss, Nathan Harper. But don't worry, they're both unemployed now, so they'll have plenty of time to think about their mistakes. Wishing them both the best in their new, miserable lives. Post. And just like that, the bomb dropped. Minutes later, my phone blew up. Comments. Reactions. Shares. Messages pouring in. Some from friends, some from people who just wanted to see the drama unfold. Some from people who apparently already suspected Carrie was a lying, cheating piece of trash. And then, one final call. Carrie. I answered this time. Her voice was raw, furious. Are you out of your *****ing mind? I leaned back in my chair, grinning. No, Carrie. I'm just done being the idiot who trusted you. You humiliated me. I laughed. You did that to yourself. She sucked in a breath. You think this is over? You think you can just destroy my life and walk away? I let a slow, satisfied smile spread across my face. Oh, Carrie, I murmured. You already destroyed your own life. I just made sure everyone saw it. And then, I hung up. Let her scream. Let her cry. She had made her choices. And now? She could live with them. The next morning, I woke up to chaos. Exactly as I wanted. My phone was flooded with messages, some from friends, some from nosy acquaintances who had seen my post, and some from people I barely even knew, all offering their opinions on the disaster that was now Carrie's life. But the ones that interested me the most? The ones from Carrie herself. Carrie, you are *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************�e you put our business online like that? Carrie, I can't even go to the grocery store without people staring. Carrie, fix this. I leaned back in bed, sipping my coffee as I read through them. Fix this? Oh, Carrie. She still didn't get it. She wasn't in control anymore. I had barely finished my first cup when the doorbell rang. Logan, standing there with a knowing smirk. Tell me you saw the fallout, he said, stepping inside. Oh, I saw it. I tossed him my phone, letting him scroll through the messages. He whistled low. She's losing it, he muttered. You really did it. She's got nowhere to go. Not my problem, I said simply. Logan snorted. You say that, but she's not the type to go down quietly. I already knew that. Carrie wasn't going to slink away in shame. She was going to fight. And that was fine. Because I had one last move left to play. By noon, I had made my way back to the house. Not to see Carrie, she didn't live here anymore. I had already started the legal process of kicking her out. But I needed to grab a few things, and I had no doubt she'd be lurking around. Sure enough, the moment I stepped inside, I heard her footsteps. Then her voice, sharp and cutting. You're a real piece of *********, you know that? I turned, slow and controlled. Carrie stood in the doorway, her arms crossed, eyes wild. She looked rough. Good. I could say the same about you, I said calmly. She scoffed. Oh, off with the righteous act, Mick. You think you're some kind of victim? I arched an eyebrow. You cheated on me, Carrie. So what? She snapped. I froze. Something in my chest twisted, but I didn't let it show. So what? That was all she had to say. She took a step forward, chin lifted in defiance. You think you're the only guy who's ever been cheated on? Grow the F*** up. I exhaled slowly, my fingers tightening at my sides. And you think you're the only woman who's ever faced consequences? She laughed bitterly. Consequences? Oh, you mean the public humiliation you put me through? Yes. I smiled coldly. That's exactly what I mean. Her nostrils flared. I lost everything, Mick. I tilted my head. And whose fault is that? Silence. For the first time, she hesitated. But then, just as quickly, her anger reignited. You just couldn't let it go, she snarled. You had to ruin me. I stepped closer. She didn't back away. No, Carrie. You ruined yourself. I just made sure everyone saw who you really are. Her jaw clenched. For a second, I thought she might hit me. Then, she smirked. And suddenly, I knew. She wasn't done. I hope you enjoy your little revenge fantasy, Mick, she purred. Because I'm not the only one who's going to suffer. My blood ran cold. What the hell is that supposed to mean? She smiled wider. Then, she turned and walked out the door. That night, I found out exactly what she meant. I was at Logan's again, beer in hand, finally starting to feel free of her. The last 2 days had been a storm, but now? The air felt lighter. Then my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. Mr. Lawson? Yeah. This is Officer Grant with the City Police Department. We need you to come down to the station. There's been an allegation made against you. My grip on the phone tightened. Allegation? A pause. A serious one, sir. And just like that, my stomach dropped. Carrie. That be ***. She wasn't just playing victim anymore. She was playing dirty. An hour later, I was sitting in a police station, hands clenched in my lap. The officer across from me had a file open, flipping through pages. I already knew what was coming. Carrie Lawson has filed a report, the officer said slowly. Claiming you were abusive throughout your marriage. I let out a short, humorless laugh. That's a lie, I said flatly. She has bruises, Mr. Lawson. I stiffened. Bruises? My mind flashed back to last night, to Nathan. I had beaten him senseless. Had Carrie been caught in the crossfire? Had she used it? She's lying, I said again, my voice sharper this time. The officer didn't react. Be that as it may, we have to take these claims seriously. I clenched my jaw. Of course they did. That's what Carrie was counting on. She couldn't win, so she was trying to drag me down with her. And I had 2 options. Let her. Or fight back. I exhaled slowly, leveling my gaze at the officer. Then I guess I need a lawyer. Because Carrie thought she could destroy me. She had no idea who she was dealing with. I sat in that interrogation room, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, a dull, annoying hum that matched the pounding in my skull. Across from me, the officer tapped his pen against the table, flipping through the file again. Carrie's lies, written in black and white. I had read it all before. Women like her, liars, manipulators, professional victims, they knew exactly how to twist a story. And she had twisted it perfectly. According to her, I was a violent, controlling husband. The kind of man who kept his wife in fear. The kind of man who got angry when she wanted freedom. She probably even squeezed out a few tears while telling the story. And the bruises? Convenient. She must have stood too close when I was knocking Nathan's teeth out. Or maybe Nathan himself had grabbed her too hard in the chaos. Or maybe she gave herself the bruises, just to make the lie more believable. "You have anything to say for yourself, Mr. Lawson?" the officer finally asked. I exhaled slowly, keeping my voice even. "Yeah. I need a lawyer." That was the only thing worth saying. Because I wasn't playing her game. The officer nodded like he expected that. "You're not under arrest, but I'd advise you not to leave town." I didn't respond. I just stood, grabbed my jacket, and walked out of that station without looking back. And as soon as I hit the parking lot, I made my first call. To my lawyer. 2 hours later, I sat across from Chris Maddox, the best divorce attorney I could afford. He was an older guy, late 50s, sharp eyes that had seen it all before. "She's smart," he said, flipping through the report. "Playing the abuse card? That complicates things. She's setting you up to be the villain so she can walk away clean." I clenched my jaw. "I want to destroy her, Chris. I don't want her walking away clean, I want her begging." Chris smirked. "Good. Because I can make that happen." He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the desk. "First, we go after credibility. We hit her with a counterclaim, defamation, emotional distress, false allegations. If we can prove she's lying, we bury her." "How?" I asked. Chris tossed a folder onto the desk. "We dig, Mick. We find every single piece of dirt on her. Old messages, financial records, social media, everything. She's hiding something. They always are." A slow grin spread across my face. Carrie thought she was ruining me. She had no idea what was coming. By midnight, I had what I needed. I sat on Logan's couch, laptop open, scrolling through years of old emails, bank statements, text records, anything that might give me leverage. And then I found it. Buried in a folder labeled Personal Finances. A wire transfer. $15,000. Sent from Carrie's account, to a name I didn't recognize. I frowned, clicking on the transaction details. The name, Derek Holman. "Who the hell is Derek Holman?" I muttered. Logan leaned over my shoulder. "Never heard of him." I ran a search. The first hit nearly made me drop my drink. Derek Holman, a private investigator. My blood ran cold. She hired a PI? Logan whistled low. Damn, she was planning something. I sat back, mind racing. She had hired this guy months ago. Before I even knew about the affair. Which meant she wasn't just cheating, she was building an escape plan. She had planned to paint me as a monster before she even got caught. This wasn't just betrayal. It was premeditated. The next morning, I made my next move. I called Derek Holman himself. He answered on the second ring. "Holman Investigations, how can I help you?" I kept my voice casual. "Hey, Derek. This is Mick Lawson. My wife hired you a while back. Ring any bells?" Silence. Then, a slow inhale. "What do you want, Mr. Lawson?" Bingo. He was nervous. "I want to know what you found," I said. "And I want to know why she hired you." Another pause. "Then, that's confidential." I grinned. "Oh, come on, Derek. We both know the rules change when you're dealing with fraud." More silence. Then, he sighed. "Meet me at Rossi's Diner. Noon." I hung up. Carrie thought she was in control. She was about to learn just how wrong she was. By noon, I was sitting in the diner booth, watching the door. Derek walked in, wearing a cheap suit and a guilty expression. He slid into the seat across from me. "You're not gonna like this," he said, setting a folder on the table. I picked it up, flipping it open. Inside? Photos of me. Dozens of them. At work. At the gym. Leaving the house. Meeting Logan for drinks. Carrie had me follow you for weeks, Derek admitted. She wanted proof of something. Anything she could use against you. I clenched my jaw. Did she find any? No. He exhaled, rubbing his forehead. That's the thing. She was hoping you'd cheat first. She was looking for an excuse to play the victim. My stomach twisted. She had been looking for a way out. Not just that, a way to make me the villain. She had been setting me up before I even suspected anything. My vision blurred with rage. She was never planning to stay, I muttered. Derek shook his head. No. She was setting up a clean exit. I snapped the folder shut. Not anymore. Carrie thought she was ahead. She was about to lose everything. And this time? She wouldn't see it coming. I sat in my car outside Carrie's new apartment, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles went white. This was it. The final move. She had tried to ruin me. Had lied, manipulated, and played the victim while plotting behind my back. But she had no idea what was coming. I wasn't just going to win. I was going to end her. I walked up to her door, my heart a steady, controlled beat. No anger. No hesitation. Just purpose. I knocked. Silence. Then, footsteps. The door swung open, and there she was. Carrie. Messy hair, tired eyes, she wasn't sleeping well. Good. She blinked up at me, surprised, then quickly masked it with that fake confidence she always used. What the hell are you doing here? She snapped. I smiled. Thought you'd want to hear it from me first. Her eyes narrowed. Hear what? I pulled a folder from under my arm and held it up. Your life. Ending. She snorted. Dramatic much? I stepped inside before she could stop me, closing the door behind me. She huffed in annoyance but didn't try to stop me. She was nervous. Sit down, Carrie, I said. She folded her arms. I'm not playing your little game, Mick. I chuckled. Oh, but you played plenty of games with me, didn't you? Lying. Cheating. Setting me up before I even had a clue. Hiring a PI to dig for dirt on me when all along, you were the dirty one. Her lips parted slightly. You don't know what you're talking about. I threw the folder onto the coffee table. Don't I? She hesitated. Then, slowly, she stepped forward and opened it. And I watched her face fall apart. Because inside was everything. Bank transfers, to Derek Holman. Emails between her and Nathan, planning their future behind my back. Texts to her other side guy, because she hadn't just been with Nathan. She had a backup plan in case he bailed. She wasn't just a cheater. She was a professional liar. She flipped through the pages, her fingers trembling. Then, she slammed the folder shut and looked up at me, face twisting with rage. You were spying on me? I laughed. Loud. Sharp. You're joking, right? You hired a PI on me first. I leaned in. And unlike you, Carrie, I actually found something. She swallowed, glancing away for half a second, just long enough to confirm everything. She was guilty. She was scared. And she was losing. You're bluffing, she muttered. I smiled. Am I? I pulled out my phone and opened my email. Because I sent copies of this to a few people. Her eyes widened. The court. Click. Sent. Nathan's wife. Click. Sent. Your boss, who I'm sure will love to know what you and Nathan were doing on business trips. Click. Sent. She lunged for me, trying to grab the phone, but I stepped back easily. Her breathing was ragged, her face wild. "Mick," she hissed. "You're ruining my life." I tilted my head. "No, Carrie. You ruined your own life. I'm just making sure everyone knows it." She shook her head furiously, pacing, hands pulling at her hair. "You don't understand what you've done." I leaned against the wall, crossing my arms. "Oh, I understand perfectly. You lost. And now?" I smiled. "You're nobody." She let out a shuddering breath. Then, in a whisper, "What do you want?" There it was. The final break. "I already got what I wanted," I said. "I just wanted to see the moment you realized you can't hurt me anymore." I walked to the door, opened it, and turned back. "You should start packing, Carrie. Because the walls are about to close in." And with that, I left. For good. 3 weeks later, Carrie was gone. Nathan's wife filed for divorce and took everything from him. Carrie lost her job when her boss found out about the affair. And her reputation? Destroyed. She tried to fight back, tried to lie her way out. But the evidence was too much. She had nowhere left to run. And me? I was free. Divorce finalized. My house mine again. No more lies. No more betrayal. Just peace. Logan and I sat on my back porch, cold beers in hand. "You really did it," he said, shaking his head with a grin. "You burned her to the ground." I smirked. She deserved worse. He clinked his bottle against mine. "So, what now?" I exhaled, looking out at the horizon. What now? Anything I damn well wanted.